because you know when it's time to go outside, baby, when it's time to go outside, you want to make sure that you know you did the prep work. This is the prep work, okay? Yeah, so I am back again in my room, and I'll be doing, as I said, a glam, soft glam. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is try to glamify these brows. This Fenty one is really good. Only thing with this Fenty one is I feel like it takes a while to really build up the color. That's not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you are heavy-handed. This would be the perfect pencil for you, because I know sometimes people could draw on their brows and it could be just way too much. So this kind of prevents you in a little way from drawing on your brows too thick. Okay, so because the bottom was way too light, I'm gonna go in with that same Maybelline Asian Wine, but I'm using the shade Hazelnut instead. Now I'm just gonna use a little bit of setting powder. This one is from Juvia's Place. This one is their Kalahari powder, and I'm just gonna use it to set my eyelids. Okay, so for eyeshadow, I'm gonna be using two palettes today. I'm gonna be using my Jackie Aina ABH, my Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette, and I'm gonna be using the Juvia's Place Warrior 2 palette. Okay, so the first shade that I'm gonna be using is on the ABH Jackie Aina palette, and I'm gonna be using the shade right here, Ginger, and that's gonna be my transitional shade. And because I have so much eyelid space, I'm bringing this shadow right like under my brows, like in this area right here. I'm gonna take this right up here because I'm also gonna be cutting my crease for this look today. So just going back and forth with your brush like this is the perfect motion to use, and just use a very light hand, like really tapping my skin like this. I hope this angle is better to show you guys exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm switching palettes, and I'm gonna be taking the Warrior palette, and I'm taking the shade Kufuru, which is this middle shade right here. And I'm taking another brush. I'm taking this more flat brush. It's not super flat, it's fluffy, but it's more on the flatter side. And this one is the Morphe M433 brush. And I'm taking this color right above my crease. It might just be because it's mixing with the concealer that is on top as well though. Alright. Using that same brush, I'm going to go back to my Jackie Aina palette. And I'm going to be taking the shade Credit, this one right here. Making sure that I blend this out really well. And I'm blending it a little upwards as well. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to cutting the crease. And I haven't done a cut crease in so long. Okay, so I'm gonna be taking this Juvia Place concealer, and this is in the number 12. It's a pretty light concealer, and I like to use something very light when I'm cutting the crease, just so that whatever color I put on top, which is gonna be a very like light color, because it's gonna be a very light color because I want it to look very much of like a nude look. And when you're cutting your crease, you just want to take your time. If you're in a rush, do not do a cut crease. If you have a little extra time, then go ahead, unless you're like really good at cut creases. Or now when you're doing a cut crease, please be mindful, you want both sides to look as even as possible. So just while you're doing this eye, just pay attention to this one. And you want to wait for that concealer to dry down as much as possible before putting the shadows onto them. Right, so firstly I'm going to apply some primer, and I'm going to be taking my Fenty Beauty Instant Retouch Primer. Okay, now that it's pressed in foundation, we're going to go full coverage today, baby. As you can see, she is thicker than a Snicker. And right, real thick. And the brush that I'm using is also from Juvia's Face. I don't know the name of it, but it's like a really big foundation brush. Like, came out with this foundation. If you're looking for something that's just gonna cover up all the mistakes that you've ever made in your life, this is what you're looking for. Okay, now I'm gonna be going in with some contour. As I said, this is soft matte, but this is soft glam, soft glam, but this is, yeah, it's gonna put together so perfectly. I can't wait for you guys to see the end and how nicely it's going to look. So I'm taking my Huda Beauty Tantour in the color Tan. And here comes something that we don't really do on my channel. We're gonna be doing a little bit of nose contouring. Just a little bit. Now I'm going to highlight. Firstly, I'm gonna take, this concealer from Maybelline, and it's the Age Rewind Concealer in Hazelnut under the eyes. Then I'm gonna take this brush from Real Techniques. It is their setting brush, I think. Yeah, it's a setting brush, and I'm going to use it to blend out my under eye. Now I'm gonna be highlighting, and I'm gonna be taking that same Juvia's Place concealer in number 12, and I'm gonna be using that highlighter. I want to put a little bit of the product as well in this area. I like to use something very close to my concealer shade, my foundation shade, just to cancel out the darkness that is around these areas. Now for under the eyes, and not under the eyes, and then we're gonna go back to the eyes. So I'm just tapping and pressing the concealer into my skin like this. Press, 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 press. And then I don't really want to take the concealer like too far out or too far down. So I'm just patting it and pressing it, blending it in this area. And then for the edges, I like to go back in with my foundation brush and just blend out the edges. Okay, so now we're gonna set our under eye and and then we're gonna go back. So for under the eyes, we're gonna take this powder. It's from Fenty Beauty, and this one is in the shade Honey. It is a more golden powder. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of product onto my brush, tap off the excess, and then I'm going to use that to set under my eyes. Especially with this powder, I love using a brush. I feel like it works way better, way better than using a sponge. So if you have this and you felt like when you used it with your sponge it wasn't working for you, what I didn't like with the sponge was that I felt like once I applied it with the sponge, after I went back to like brush away the excess, it would leave a mark. But when I do this method, it sets it so beautifully, and this powder is so nice. Okay, so since we're gonna go back to the eyes, I'm just gonna apply a little bit more powder under here, just so if I have any fallout, it could easily be swept away with the powder. I also like to leave a little bit of powder on my nose sometimes, just to set it and bring forth my nose to the highlight situation. So we're gonna go back to the Warrior palette, and we're gonna take this shade right here called Kana, and I'm gonna be taking this flat brush right here to apply this Kana shade all over my eyelids. Okay, so now I'm gonna take another small blending brush and I'm gonna pick up the shade Kufuru in the Warrior palette. And in my outer V area, I'm just gonna add more of the credit color. And in case you're wondering, I have two different eyelid shapes. So I know sometimes one eye can definitely look a little bit different than the other, especially with a cut crease. But I dead eyes, I have two different eye shapes. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm gonna take some of this e.l.f. brow gel just to set my brows in place. Lashes are on. And we're just gonna finish up the face. So another thing that I like to do when I'm doing a soft glam look, it's just a little bit extra, but I like to take a powder. I like to take my Laura Mercier powder. This one is the transparent one. I have even a brighter highlighted under eye look, which I really like for a soft glam type of look. And I really love this powder because when I brush it away, it doesn't leave any white residue and it doesn't cause any flashbacks or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about that. And now I'm gonna be applying some bronzer. This one is from Fenty Beauty. And now I'm gonna dust away, and this area looks a little bit more brighter. I'm gonna clean up the edge of the bronzer. So if you see it looking a little bit too low, or my contour was a little bit too low, I am going to fix that. I like to add a little powder around these areas where I have my laugh line, just to set it in place, because sometimes around this area will crease on you. And I'm just gonna round out the look. So using the color credit, I'm gonna go directly under my lashes. And then I'm gonna add some of this ginger color under there and just I'm going to be taking this lipstick from Morphe. It is in the shade Boo. And I'm rubbing my lips together to blend it in with the lip liner, just so I can have a really nice nude shade. You can also use your fingers to just top everything. For the inner part of my eye, I'm gonna take this wider color. This color is called Zaz, I think. And with a pencil brush, I'm just gonna apply this Zaz color right into the inner corner of the eye, and it's just gonna bring so much light right there into the eye. One sec. Okay, so that pretty much concludes the look for today. So thank you guys so much for quarantining and chilling with me in another makeup tutorial, guys. I don't even know what day it is, but this is a fun way to pass the time if you are like completely like if you're tired of Netflix, which I kind of am, and you just want to find something to do and you don't really have nothing else to do, then why not, you know, do some makeup looks? Because you know, when it's time to go outside, baby, when it's time to go outside, you want to make sure that, you know, you did the prep work. This is the prep work, okay? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye.